Hello, good people. Today I'm going to give you 12 different alternatives of seeds that you can start in your garden in early June and expect to harvest. So it's early June now. You might be in a situation where you've planted some seeds, got a harvest already, and you've got empty space in your garden, and you like to plant some seeds where you can get a harvest later on in this season. Or if you're like me, you're late and you need to plant some stuff in your garden again so you can get a harvest off of them. Luckily this year, at least in my area, it's been abnormally cool. It literally gets down to the 60s right now, and I'm in Georgia. So if you're in my zone, which is like a border between like 6 and 7, you still got some time. But that being said, let me go ahead and start on the list. First up, we're going to start off with beans. And so beans I have actually been successful with, but with beans, you kind of want to do what they call interplanting. So you stagger your planting so you can always be harvesting some beans even as the other plants die off. And so I'm going to show you 3 alternatives of beans. 3 of my favorites that I like to use. So I personally like these right here. These are the Blue Lake bush beans. Very prolific growers. I think I mentioned that on a previous video. And then we've got these golden butterwax beans, which are a great contrast to the green beans. And then as a third, we have these Asian long beans. Specifically, these are Thai purple potted yard long beans, but they got several different varieties. They're kind of like green or like a mixture. They're very good growers, grow very quickly. Won't be disappointed. All right, next up after the beans, you could actually plant some kale now, even though it's kind of warm. You can plant some kale and it'll be ready by the time it starts cooling off and everything like that. And it'll actually probably take off even more once it cools off. But kale comes in a lot of different varieties. The ones that you probably see in the grocery store are like this curly leaf green kale right here, or maybe the purple version. And sometimes we see what I call the dino kale. Goes by a few different names, but these seeds are readily available. You can buy them from any big box store. The official name of them is lacinato. The official name of these is lacinato kale, but a lot of people call them dino kale. This is one of my favorites to actually grow. But if you're like me, you like growing things that are different that you can't really get in grocery stores, they've got a lot of different types of kale. These are some of the ones that I have. This one is like a giant walking stick kale. You can see how big that gets. They come in different shapes and varieties and colors. Right here. So these are all examples of kale. And again, you can start this off now. Kale actually is, I would like to call it like a semi-perennial. So it'll last more than one season. I've had like some kale plants that's like 3 years before. So it can last a while. Plant it now and you'll be harvesting it for a long time. Next up, we're going to go to okra. And so got a few different choices of different types of okra right here. So okra comes in different colors. A lot of people don't know that, but you can get okra that's red. Some of them are kind of short and fat, and some of them come in this like long variety right here, which is like what they call this, Louisiana long, 16-inch long. So they get very long, and purportedly they're very tender. I haven't been successful at growing okra, but I'm going to be trying it this year. Another one that I have is what they call a heavy hitter. We're supposed to be put out a lot of different okra on one plant. You can kind of see on the picture example that they have right there. So look forward to growing this. So that's okra. Another choice you have is zucchini, or zucchini is a type of summer squash. So typically in the grocery store, you get the green zucchini, which is here's an example of one of them. You know, this isn't just like the regular green one that you see. This is like an Italian variety, I do believe, is Caucasian Italian zucchini. I think the one in the grocery store is like I think they call it like Black Beauty. It's like a really dark green color. But I mean, you've got a lot of different choices, even just staying with zucchini. Got this golden zucchini. I don't think I've ever seen this in a grocery store. You can grow it in your own garden. I have seen these, and these are wonderful, like if you roast them in the oven. This is called delicata. Actually, this is not a summer squash, this is a winter squash. But I do believe you can pick them early when they're softer. Winter squash, which I'll cover in 1 second, they kind of harden up and they keep for a very long time versus a zucchini, it'll spoil on you like within weeks, like a week or two, if you're lucky. So yeah, that was the summer squash. I guess I accidentally snuck in one that was kind of like a in between. If you pick it early, it's a summer, but if you hold it, it's a winter squash. So winter squash, here's a good example of a winter squash. This is just your classic butternut squash. Find these at many grocery stores. But if you want to go on a limb and do something a little different, you got different things like this available to you in a home garden. So this is a Japanese variety right here. Looks pretty cool. So Yokohama squash. And then here's another alternative. Looks completely different. It's orange. It's a Boston marrow squash right there. And since we're on squash, we'll just flip over to something that's similar to squash, but not really. You can plant some melons. And so popular melons that people like to plant is going to be your watermelons. You can pick up watermelon seeds at big box store. These are called Black Diamond, which I believe they're like small or seedless or semi-seedless watermelons. You have that. But again, if you're doing your backyard garden, you're growing it yourself, why grow something that you can easily buy from the grocery store? Why not branch out? So got different choices with just in the case of watermelons. You got an orange watermelon here, and you have this one that's like a creamy kind of white color right there. And if you don't like watermelons or you just want something a little different, you've got different, like a honeydew type melon right here. Here's two choices. Another thing that you can plant is going to be onions, specifically not your bulbing onions so much, but like a bunching onion, which I've got 3 examples right here of bunching onion types. And you can even get some variety within your bunching onions. So I know a lot of places, a lot of grocery stores, at least around me, you don't have like purplish bunching onions. And here are 2 other varieties, which look more like the common ones you see in the grocery store, but they are Asian varieties. This one is a Tokyo Long White, and this one is, I guess that maybe this is a Japanese variety. It's Ishikura. Forgive my pronunciation. But yeah, this is a bunching onion also. And these, in the right climates, which I think Georgia is one, because I had some bunching onions a couple years ago that I planted and they lasted for years. They actually would probably still be there if I didn't pull them all up. But yeah, you plant bunching onions, they self-replicate. So it's good crop to start basically anytime. And you can interplant those in between your other crops. They help with repelling pests and things of that nature. Since we're talking about interplanting and repelling pests, we'll move on to herbs. So there are many different types of herbs And you know, there's subsets within that of herbs like basil. Like this one right here is a lemon basil, which is one of your more common ones. You've got many different like subsets within the basil family that are very different in look and flavor. So this one is called a blue spice, which I've planted before. It's great, grows really tall, very fragrant plant. Here's one that hails out of Africa, I do believe, that I'm looking forward to planting, see how it goes. But yeah, you can interplant herbs in between some of your other crops to help keep insects and stuff off. For instance, like your tomatoes, you can plant herbs at the bottom of those. They'll help repel some of the pests like horn beetle or horn caterpillar, rather, that love to eat tomato plants. And since we're in the vein of interplanting, another great crop to interplant with are going to be carrots. And a lot of people don't know that, you know, there's a lot of different varieties of carrots just outside of the ones that you see in the grocery store. You've got a lot of choices if you're growing it yourself. So here's an example. This is a purple carrot right here. And we've got this one right here. It's like an orangish reddish carrot. And we even got things like this carrot right here. So again, if you're growing, you might as well grow variety. Get something a little different in your life. And the last but not least, an important part of gardening is planting enough flowers to attract pollinators. That was the area I was really weak in when I first started gardening myself. But yeah, it's really important to attract pollinators so you can get good fruit set and have good harvest. Now, I still try to stick to pollinators that have usefulness outside of just, you know, flowers. So something that has like a medicinal use. So we've got these, if you recognize the name right there, I always have a hard time pronouncing it. But they use this like to treat like colds, or not so much treat, but to keep the colds off of you. Here's like two different varieties of that. I always have in Anicia. They sell that at the store in pill form. Calendula. There's a lot of different uses for it. I believe you can put this in a tea, or you can make like a cream to like cure like any kind of like topical issues you have with your skin. Here's another one that's also edible. I think some fancy restaurants will use the flowers on salads, but the little seed pods, or like the little buds, are supposed to be peppery, and you can use it as like a substitute for capers if you like pickle or brine them. Of course, you've got your things like marigold, which have a good place in the garden because they help keep pests away. But yeah, you've got a lot of different choices in flowers that you can plant to help attract pollinators into your garden, so you can again get great harvest. All right, good people. So that covers my segment on 12 vegetables that you can plant in early June and expect to get a good harvest off of them. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.